Chris started the video sharing platform Rumble in 2013 with a mission of protecting a free and open internet from censorship by big tech and governments around the globe. The platform has always been a place for independent creators to share their authentic opinions, and they have always included President Trump, in contrast to the way he was censored by other platforms in years past. Since its founding, Rumble has grown exponentially, recently marking 67 million monthly active users. It's a lot of users. If you're watching right now and interested in sitting in this seat, you can apply, whitehouse.gov/new media. With that, I will take your questions. And Chris, why don't you kick us off on this very busy news day?
Karoline, thank you very much to you and President Trump. It's an honor to be sitting here in the new media seat for the White House press briefing and to be able to demonstrate why freedom of expression is so important.
Which White House official made the decision to bar the AP reporter from the Oval Office and the diplomatic reception room last night?
Well, first of all, let me just set the record straight. It is a privilege to cover this White House. It's a privilege to be the White House press secretary. And nobody has the right to go into the Oval Office and ask the President of the United States questions. That's an invitation that is given. And there are hundreds of outlets on this campus, many of you in this room who don't have the privilege of being part of that pool every single day and getting to ask the President questions. We reserve the right to decide who gets to go into the Oval Office, and you all have credentials to be here, including the Associated Press, who is in this briefing room today.
But isn't it retaliatory in nature is the argument, because the reason that the AP was barred, which they said was because they're not using the phrase Gulf of America, they're using Gulf of Mexico in line with their standards. And so the question here is this setting a precedent that this White House will retaliate against reporters who don't use the language that you guys believe reporters should use? And how does that align with the First Amendment commitment that you were just talking about?
I was very upfront in my briefing on day one that if we feel that there are lies being pushed by outlets in this room, we are going to hold those lies accountable. And it is a fact that the body of water off the coast of Louisiana is called the Gulf of America. And I'm not sure why news outlets don't want to call it that, but that is what it is. The Secretary of Interior has made that the official designation in the geographical identification name server. And Apple has recognized that. Google has recognized that. Pretty much every other outlet in this room has recognized that body of water as the Gulf of America. And it's very important to this administration that we get that right, not just for people here at home, but also for the rest of the world.
The Trump administration is restricting the freedom of press the same way that authoritarian regimes typically do.
The wrecking ball of right-wing authoritarianism is swinging right through Congress and coming directly at the freedoms of the press and the people right now. The self-appointed CEO of this operation is the unelected bureaucrat and aspiring techno-dictator Elon Musk, who Steve Bannon calls a truly evil individual, trying to create a techno-state in which he's king and most of us are reduced to the status of serfs. Break things and break things fast, Steve Bannon says, is Musk's M.O. De facto President Musk and his nocturnal Doge Muscovite Youth Brigade have now taken control of dozens of federal computer databases in order to dismantle entire federal agencies and programs that we in Congress created and funded with appropriations to keep our people safe and secure and healthy.
Everybody knows that the mainstream media really hasn't been worth a damn for quite some time. Really throughout the majority of my life, they've been playing both sides. You know, CNN would bring on these people who debate climate change. Is it real? Is it not real? Even though we know that it is real. By the way, CNN has the absolute worst panel discussions out of pretty much everybody. They may even be worse than Fox News because they don't talk about anything whatsoever. But, you know, all these other outlets, they're not going to really hold Trump accountable because they want access. And the White House doesn't care about that. Donald Trump, he just called for Rachel Maddow to be thrown off air because he doesn't want any dissent whatsoever. If you dissent against him, he doesn't want it. You know, these people are relishing in the fall of the free press. It's also hilarious that Fox News talks about the mainstream media as if they aren't the most watched cable news network in the entire country. But I guess that's a discussion for another day. But the mainstream media has to step up. We can't really, you know, expect them to because they're part of the corporate machine. So we have to step up. Independent media has to step up. Left-wingers, we have to organize. We have to really focus on local government so that we can defeat this because the federal government's just going to be a mess for quite some time. And like I said, the mainstream media has not been worth a damn for a very, very long time.